Hello, biology. Welcome to another video of plants. This video we are focusing on the germination handout. So it's probably in your best interest to, while you're watching this video, maybe pull up your own handout, send it to Notability, so you can kind of follow along and fill it in as we go. To start, just a quick heads up that there is a link on this handout of Mrs. Mancini, who also made a video pertaining to seeds and germination. If you want to use that as an additional resource, feel free. So we're going to start with this idea of germination. So germination is just very simply in a plant, it's when a seed begins to grow into a new plant. So we're looking at a seed and germination. So we're going to look at like the anatomy of a seed. That's how we can think about it, and how that seed can grow into a new plant. And so what do seeds need in order to germinate? They need two things. They need water, regular availability of water, as well as proper temperature. So some plants and seeds are on timelines where they don't start to germinate until the weather gets warmer or it reaches a certain temperature outside where they can get enough energy to continue growing and developing. Okay, so what we see down here, we have inside of a seed, kind of like an anatomy, like I said, and we have a word bank, and so we're just going to kind of fill this out as we go along. So to start, just looking at the outside of it, for seed coat, that's just the outside right here. And we also have some matching for number 4, so we'll just kind of do both of them at the same time. And the purpose of a seed coat is to protect the seed. That should make sense, right? It's the outside, it's really hard, it's rigid, probably tough to break. All right, so it's protecting the new plant that's forming in there. All right, our second term, embryo, is going to be dealing with this guy right here. So most of the seed actually doesn't form the actual plant itself. It's only this part you see here that actually is what the plant is and what will grow and develop to be a tree or whatever type of species of plant it is. So that might be kind of counterintuitive, but that's the reality of it. And so the embryo is the part that turns into the plant, right? And within the embryo, there are two parts to it. There's a section of the embryo that's going to become the root of the plant, and there's a section of the embryo that is going to be the stem or the shoot, the leaves and stem of the plant. So we'll start. This part here is called the radicle. So dealing with this section, you can kind of see or imagine that being the root section. And the radicle, like we said, that will become the root. And the plumule, that section right there, that is going to be the shoot, leaves, and stem. Okay. So we have 4 of those. Our last one is called our cotyledon, and that's going to be this empty space we see in the seed. Now, it's not necessarily empty space, but it's not part of the plant. It's not going to become the plant, but you can kind of think about it as a feeding storage unit for the plant, because the plant that is forming has no access to sunlight, right? It's within that seed. Plants gain energy and nutrients through gathering nutrients in their roots and using photosynthesis from the sunlight to make molecules. That can't happen in a seed. So the cotyledon is the food or parts of the seed that contain food that help feed the growing plant embryo. So the parent plant creates the cotyledon with all of its energy, and that cotyledon helps feed and drive the plant to grow and germinate over time. Okay, so our last one, cotyledon, food for the embryo. So continuing to think about this, what part of the seed emerges first after germination? If we look at this picture here, the root or the radicle is what comes out of the seed first. But we can't usually see it because we're not looking underground. The second one, what part of the seed is seen first from above ground? That is the leaves and stem, so the plumule. So the next parts of this, so we just kind of went over the first page together. The second page is a list of days. And so what you're going to do, there's a link here that you will need to watch. It's a time-lapse video of a seed germinating over time. This video is also found in Canvas. And at each day, it timestamps the days. You're going to pause the video and you're going to draw what you see. And you're going to label all the seed parts that you can find for each picture. So there's day 4, day 6, and day 10. And for each day, you want to make sure you can include, if you see them, all of these words we talked about. There's only 5. But if you can see them, you just draw them out. It doesn't need to be super detailed, but it does need to include those vocab words if you see them. So that's it for this video. I will seed you guys later.